Hey friends, do you know where animals spend most of their time? Let's find out. ¿Sabes dónde pasan la mayor parte del tiempo los diferentes animales? Vamos a averiguar. So where does this llama go? Where do you think? Esta llama se mueve en el suelo, en el cielo, o en el agua. Does this llama live mostly in the air? Does it spend its time in the air? Does it live on the ground? Or does it live in the ocean or in water? Well, llamas spend most of their time on the ground, so I'm going to put this llama next to the ground. What about this fish? Now, this isn't a real fish. This is a cartoon fish named Nemo. But does he spend most of his time in the air or in the water? Este pez vuela o nada? It does. It swims. Nada. Now, this bird. Does this bird fly? It does. It flies in the sky. So, vuela por el aire. Because we know how these animals move around, we can put other animals just like them together. So we know that most birds can fly, and we know that most fish, well, all fish swim, but we know that most land animals that walk live on the land. So other animals that walk around like a llama will walk around. Como sabemos cómo se mueven estos animales, podemos agrupar a otros animales como ellos. So these animals all live or move in different ways. So we know we can put them together. Kind of like if you saw two different people and you compared a whole bunch of people together, you might be able to put them into different families. So if you looked at these two women, you would say, oh, they look like they're in the same family. They have very similar hair. They have very similar faces. Their noses are similar. Their faces are similar. You would say that these two might be brother and sister, or like cousins maybe. They kind of have the same nose, they have the same eyes, and they have the same kind of smile. So we know that they're probably in the same family. And we can tell that these two are definitely part of the same family. They have the same eyes. They have the same kind of looks. And here's a famous actor named Arnold Schwarzenegger and his son. I don't actually know his son's name, but his son looks just like him. He just looks like a younger version of Arnold. Con las personas podemos agrupar a los miembros de la familia por su apariencia. So we can tell, oh, these people look the same. Well, musical instruments don't really all look the same. They all look very different from each other, even the ones that are in the same family. But we know the different families that instruments live in because of how they make noise, how they make their musical sounds. En el caso de los instrumentos musicales, sabemos en qué familia pertenecen por cómo hacen ruido. Hablemos de eso. Let's talk about that. Brass instruments make noise by vibrating your lips into the instrument. There are different ways for the notes to change, but we'll come back to that later. Los instrumentos de viento metal hacen ruido al hacer vibrar sus labios en el instrumento. Hay diferentes formas de cambiar las notas, pero volveremos a eso más adelante. Woodwind instruments make noise by making a piece of wood vibrate or making a whistle sound by blowing. Los instrumentos de viento de madera hacen ruido haciendo vibrar un trozo de madera o haciendo un silbido al soplar. String instruments have very tight strings that vibrate by plucking or bowing. Las cuerdas tienen cuerdas que son muy tensas vibrando, punteando un accordeando. Percussion instruments are shaken, hit, or scraped. Los instrumentos de percusión se sacuden, golpean o raspan. So there are a lot of different kinds of instruments. They make all different kinds of sounds in different ways. If you want, you can watch all 4 families' videos on the BrainPop website by logging in through Clever and going to the music section of the page. I'll try to have a link for you down in the bottom of this lesson. Si lo desea, puede ver un video sobre estas 4 familias yendo a BrainPop a través de Clever. Next week, we're going to continue talking about the instrument families, but we're going to tell a story instead. And this story is about a boy named Peter who has trouble with a dangerous wolf that comes to his house. La semana que viene contaremos la historia de un niño llamado Peter que tiene problemas con un lobo. Todos los personajes son interpretados por diferentes instrumentos. All of the characters in the story are played by different instruments and different instrument families. So we're going to learn these different instrument families by using this story to hear the different instruments. For this week's exit ticket, you need to look at the 4 instruments that I've posted pictures of for you and click on the one that looks the most interesting to you and you want to learn the most about. Para el boleto de salida de esta semana, debe mirar los 4 instrumentos que he publicado para usted y hacer clic en el que más desea aprender, el que te parezca más interesante. Have a good week. See you next time.